When you talk about demand, why does it become so interesting altogether? Quantity demanded is equal to function of price. Every month, every consumer will try to earn some money as income. This law of demand definitely has got exceptions. Good morning and welcome to the first session in Unit 1 Business Decision Theories, where we are going to talk about the basic concepts of demand analysis. So moving further, first let's try to understand the word demand. It refers to the desire backed by the necessary ability to pay. Now, demand is something that is a very common word that is being used by every one of us. We have certain demands in life. We have certain needs in life. But not every demand can be satisfied. Before we move to the economic meaning of demand, the definition of demand, we need to understand that whatever we demand in our life has to have the capacity to purchase it at the given price. Then only the demand can get satisfied. Now let's look at the demand factor in a very simple way. There are two things in our life which we always think about. One is desire, the other one is deserve. Now these two factors are very important for us to learn. We are all people who desire in life. We desire to become a CEO, we desire to become the world's richest person, we desire to become the world's most popular person, we want to learn this, we want to earn this, we want to grow with so many factors. But do we become deserving enough to do that? The question comes into our mind. The reason is that many of us might not put the necessary effort, many of us might not know the right direction, or most of us lose interest as we go down the path. Similarly, what happens is that when we start talking about this demand factor, we all have the desire to buy so many things, acquire so many things. We feel that desire is something that is inbuilt in each one of us. We want a car, we want a house, we want a land, we want to buy everything. But then, the most important question that you need to answer before satisfying your desire, do you have the ability to pay for all your needs? Do you have the capacity to buy? Do you have the capacity to pay that much amount of money and satisfy all your needs? So that is why we say that for a consumer, the ability to pay and satisfy meets his demand factor. This is very important. We cannot just go in our daily walk of life talking about demand without income, without money. So, the demand for a good is the quantity of it that can be bought per unit of time at a given price. So, today, I want to buy a laptop. Now, the cost of the laptop is 50,000 rupees. Now, let me say the cost of the laptop is 50,000 rupees. But if I don't have 50,000 rupees with me right now, will I be able to buy the laptop? The answer is no. Now, you might say that, sir, I can borrow money, I can take a loan, so many other factors. But then, if we go with the plain mathematics, with the plain thinking here, if you have the money, you will be able to satisfy your desire at that given point of time. But if you don't have the money, you have to look for alternative sources to generate that money in order to satisfy your desire, then it becomes difficult. So that's why we say that the demand for the good, the demand for that particular value of that good is the quantity of that can be bought at that given point of time with the given price. So if you are able to satisfy the price at that point of time, then you get the good. If you go and say that I will buy the laptop after 2 months or 3 months, the price might not be the same. The price might be either higher or the price might have changed, whatever can happen. So if you want to satisfy your demand today, you need to give the price for it. Moving further, The aspects of demand. What are the aspects of demand? When you talk about demand, why does it become so interesting altogether? Now, when we talk about the aspects of demand, it is the quantity desired at a given price. Let me just explain you this in a very simple term. You go to the market and you want to buy 1 kg of a particular vegetable. Let's say it might be a tomato, it might be a beans or carrot, whatever is that, you want to buy 1 kg of that particular vegetable. Now he goes to the market and you say that I want to buy 1 kg of carrot. Now the cost of 1 kg of carrot is 60 rupees. Let's assume that the price of 1 kg of carrot is 60 rupees. When you want to buy that 1 kg, you should be able to give that price. If you are not able to give the price, if you start going on the bargaining mode, then you might not get the possible quantity that you desire. Because now you don't have that money, you don't have that capacity to buy the desired quantity. So demand's first aspect is that to satisfy the quantity, to satisfy the desired amount, you need to have the price for it. The second thing is that the demand at the price during a given time. Not every time the price of carrot will be 60 rupees. Today it is 60. Tomorrow if you buy it will be 70. Day after tomorrow it might be 80. But if you buy this carrot after 1 month, I'm saying that the price might fall down to 30 rupees. So what I'm trying to tell here is that demand is a function which also includes time factor. As the time moves, the price will also change. So that is where you need to understand demand of that particular product. The price factor will also change with the time factor. Next one, it's a quantity demanded per unit of the time. At that junction, how much are you? That is what is very, very important. Why? Because when you are demanding something, you are not going to demand for the entire market. You want only 1 kg of carrot at that particular instance of time. So what you are trying to tell is that I need 1 kg of carrot right now. And right now the price is 60 rupees. So if you are in a position to carry forward that demand by paying that price, then automatically your demand can be satisfied. Moving further, determinants of demand. The function of demand is what we are going to talk about. The term function is employed to show determined and the determinant relationship. Now let's understand these two factors very, very clearly. Determined and determinant. Example, we say that the quantity of good demand is a function of its price. So the quantity is given by the function, given by the letter Q, which is equal to function of, F stands for function of, what is the value given here? P. P stands for price. So quantity demanded is equal to function of price. So it's a very, very simple relationship, the function of demand. The function of demand clearly states that whatever we are trying to understand, it is directly related to the price of the product. So if you are able to pay the price of the product at the given point of time, then automatically the demand can be satisfied. Moving further, what are the important detriments? What are the things that actually decide the game of demand? The first thing, price of goods, income of the buyer, price of related good, taste of the buyer, seasons prevailing, fashion, advertisement and sales promotion. Now there are so many factors that we have discussed here in terms of demand. But let's go one by one in order to understand where exactly demand gets completely moving up or down, completely gets shaken up. Now let's start with the first one, the price of the good. So when you walk into a shop, the first thing that you want to ask the consumer, the shopkeeper, is the price of the good. You don't want to go ahead and just buy a product like that. You want to buy a pen, you want to buy a mobile, you want to buy a camera, or you want to buy a watch. You are really price conscious. Every consumer is price conscious. It doesn't mean that consumer has got money, so he'll just go and buy it. He will go into the shop and the first thing that he will inquire by looking into a product is the price of the product. If the price of the product is matching his mindset, matching his expectation, then automatically it gets converted into a purchase. If the price is not matching my expectation, then that remains only a sale call. That's all. You will not be able to go and buy it. Moment I look for a watch and the person says that the watch is about 1.5 lakhs. I immediately take a step back because that is not my budget. That is not what I expected. I wanted to see a watch in 5,000 to 10,000. Moment you say 1 lakh, I will step back because the price of the good is way ahead of my expectation. So the price of the good is very, very important. When it matches the mindset, the expectation, automatically it will be a buy. The next one, income of the buyer. So when you go inside with the mindset that you want to make a purchase, every month you have got something called as expenses. The expenses is an outcome of your income. Why? Because expenses cannot be done without income. Every month, every consumer will try to earn some money as income. Based on the income will be the expense. So let's say that the income is 10,000 rupees per month. So what you can spend is within this 10,000 rupees. You cannot spend 20,000 rupees. So within that 10,000 rupees, you have to make your expense. So based on the income will be the demand. If my income is high, then I can also go for products which are highly priced. So based on the income will come the demand. The next one is price of related goods. This is a very, very important concept. Why? Because today in the market, we have n number of goods which are the similar kind of the original one. Now, when you go and ask for mobile, there are about thousands of mobile with different names and probably different combination textures, what I mean to say. But they all look the same. They almost have the same kind of function. But what happens here is that when the consumer wants to buy a particular product and he finds that there is a related good which is much more cheaper than the original good, automatically his mind changes. I go to the market in the mindset saying that I want to buy a Samsung phone which is about 15,000 rupees. But then I come to see that there is a MI phone which is available at 12,000 rupees itself. My mind gets changed. Why? Because both of them are mobile. Both of them are satisfying the same kind of functions and needs. Why should I spend extra 3,000 rupees? So the price of related goods will definitely have an impact on the demand function. So this is very, very important. The more and more we have substitutes, we have closely related products, the demand function will automatically vary. But if there is only one, there is no alternative, there is no substitute, then the demand will always be a vertical growth altogether, followed by the taste of the buyer. Though this particular point is more about a qualitative rather than a quantitative function, but we cannot ignore it. We have to assume, we have to take this point into our mind. The taste of the buyer. So when a buyer goes into a shop trying to buy something, there is an n number of emotions that run in his mind. The buyer is a unique combination of intellectual output. He has got several different kinds of factors that are running in his mind, that are running in his body. So he has a unique combination of taste. He might not be satisfied with what the shopkeeper is showing to him. He is ready to go across 10 or 20 different shops to find out whether his taste is matching or not. So the taste of the buyer will also matter for the demand, because he knows that if this shop is not able to satisfy me, there's another shop around the clock. There's another shop around the street. So I will go down seeing that my taste is satisfied. So taste of the buyer also matters in the demand function, followed by seasons prevailing at the time of purchase. You would like to purchase a mango only during the summer. If you go and ask for a mango during the season of winter, you might not probably get it. You are ready to pay, but then the seasonal availability, the seasonal attractivity towards that particular product, the amount of availability that particular season, what is prevailing, will create that demand in the market. This is very, very important. This cannot be denied. Because for the consumer, it is at that particular juncture, at that particular time, that good has to be available. The time factor will play a huge amount of presence, impact towards the demand. Followed by fashion. What do you mean by fashion? Fashion is something that is not, again, quantifiable in nature. It's a qualitative factor. Fashion is a trend. It's a trend analysis altogether. It keeps changing. So we don't have a yardstick to measure fashion. But then fashion becomes a part of the consumer's purchasing cycle. The consumer thinks about this purchase again and again, keeping in mind that trend cycle. So he wants to be with the trend. He doesn't want to be a fish out of water. He doesn't want to be out of the trend. So what does the consumer do? He thinks about the trend, the cycle that is going on, and based on that, the demand function again gets created. Followed by the advertisement and sales promotion. Whenever you see the television channels, your mobile, social media, you will come across hundreds and thousands of advertisements. You are not interested with everything. You might just want to skip those ads. But then the ads do not go away from your mind. They are always popping up right before your eyes. So somewhere in the corner of your mind, the ads are a reminder that come again and again. So the more the consumer is able to catch upon on the advertisement and he gets attracted to the advertisement, automatically the demand also goes up. Now, when you look at Zomato, for example, any of the YouTube videos that you are watching, you will see that there is invariably a Zomato advertisement coming up for a few seconds, or a Domino's pizza advertisement coming up for a few seconds, or it might be about a trading app or an education app or an insurance app that is opening up for a few seconds, which means to say that that is the amount of advertisement that goes up. That will create a demand factor altogether. Even the Amazon Prime advertisement that you will be seeing in the YouTube and other channels, that again creates that demand. So sales and advertisement promotion will matter a lot in terms of impacting the demand. Moving further, the law of demand, which is a very, very important factor for all of us. Now, other things being equal, the greater the amount to be sold, the smaller must be the price at which it is offered in order it might find the purchasers. Now, let me put it in the other way. The amount demanded increases with fall in price and diminishes with the rise in price. This is what Alfred Marshall had given about the law of demand. Very, very important words that we have to learn. Increase in price leads to decrease in demand. Decrease in price will lead to increase in demand, because demand and the price factor are inversely proportional. That is the word that you have to understand here. Price and demand are inversely proportional. So when I represent the word Q, that is demand, it is inversely proportional. That's why I would always say that price and demand are two important factors. They do not go on the same lines altogether. They are inversely proportional. So for any goods, when the price starts falling down, people tend to buy more. For any goods, when the price starts going up, people tend to buy a lesser quantity of that. This function, this law of demand, definitely has got exceptions. Let me not talk about the exceptions right now. I'm just promoting the law of demand. I'm just giving up the law of demand on a generic, on a general manner, in a, the typical type of products that we go on a day-to-day process. So I'm not taking the law of exceptions here altogether. Now, with this, I come to the conclusion of this particular session. I hope and believe that all the information that is being shared through this particular session is of a great help and resource to you. In the upcoming sessions, we shall be learning more about the demand functions, about the different types of demands. Until then, stay tuned, stay blessed, and stay enlightened forever. Thank you once again for joining me today on this wonderful session.